Standards identified in these activities have been adopted from the content standards of the national organization for each discipline. More information on this can be found in the Technology as Facilitator of Quality Education model. The high school students in this family and consumer science class are studying nutrition. The students read magazines and books to find information about the nutritional content of the foods they eat and how those foods affect their health. The teacher engages a student in a discussion about the kinds of information he might find useful. This learning activity integrates Nutrition and Wellness Standard 14.1, which requires that students study factors that influence nutrition and wellness practices.
Now, to get really into this and this dietary analysis, what Mrs. Uhlenhake had in mind for you to do was to look through that information and then use what you really have to find out to get a grade and maybe find some answers here. So since this talks about what your weight is, what proteins are, what carbohydrates are, dietary fiber, simple sugar, complex carbohydrates, why don't you look through these magazines and say, I wonder what information I could find out in here. Well, here's something about heart attack, who's at risk, and you already did your life expectancy. You might say, oh my gosh, look at this. I am going to quit eating Snickers because look how much sugar and fat is in there. And then that could be an answer here because it's going to say to you, if you know how many carbohydrates and complex fibers and simple sugars you have, what changes are you going to make to your diet?
The students use a website to calculate body mass and basal metabolic rate. The students meet the requirements for Technology Performance Indicator number 7 for grades 9 through 12 as they use online information resources to meet their research needs.
In your syllabus on page 19 are 2 websites, the top 2 that calculate information. The first one will calculate the BMR, which is the basal metabolic rate, and then the second one will calculate body fat. So we want to put in the numbers we need and run off the information, or at least write it down in your syllabus so that we've got that.
The media specialist gives the students instructions on how to hot sync their personal digital assistants with the computers in the lab. The students will use the information they upload to the computers to create nutritional profiles for themselves. The students integrate Technology Performance Indicator number 8 for grades 9 through 12 as they apply technology tools for research and information analysis in content learning.
Okay, so we're all ready. We've got the cable plugged into the bottom of the Palm Pilot, and now click on the Hot Sync button on that cable, that little round. When you hold the Palm Pilot, look at the little button on the cable, push that. And don't do anything else, just let that work its magic there. Okay, so when you see that, okay, click on OK when you see Debbie Robinson's name. Okay? And then you can watch as the information is going from the Palm Pilot into the computer.
The students use Dine Healthy software to create personal dietary profiles. The teacher then helps the students analyze their personal profiles. This learning activity integrates Nutrition and Wellness Standard 14.2, which requires students to assess the nutritional needs of individuals in relation to health and wellness.
So if you travel across, first you get your food code, then you get how many calories are in that very first food that you ate. You see that? So total cal means calories. Move on. Total and fat should be together, and that tells you how many calories were fat calories. Now we're moving into saturated fat. So in Johnny's waffle, 1.5 grams were in saturated fat. Now do you remember which fats are good? Polyunsaturated, unsaturated, or saturated? The polyunsaturated. So if the polyunsaturateds are clear down here, that means the saturateds are up here. Saturateds are the worst fat. Do you remember anything about fats at room temperature? Do you remember us talking about anything like that? If it's solid at room temperature, that means it's the saturated kind. That's the not good kind. Okay, that's what Johnny has in his waffle.
Yep. The students compare their personal dietary profiles with their recommended diets. The students then have to consider how they can improve their eating habits. This activity fulfills Food Science, Dietetics, and Nutrition Standard 9.3, which requires that students evaluate nutrition principles and food plans.
Let me help you synthesize the information in order for you to fill out the dietary analysis according to your personal profile. If you look on, let's see, on number 5, what percent of your calories came in the form of proteins? You can look at your pie chart for that. And on one of your sheets that you got, let's see. It's called the custom analysis sheet. All right. That gives you percentages of your actual diet and the recommended diet. What do you have?
4.36. What's that ED? What's that for?
4.36%.
Oh, percent.
So you're supposed to have 55%.
Am I really?
Yeah. So what are you going to do for your diet to get it up to 55%?
I don't know.
Well, we could look on your
Eat at grandma's more?
eat at grandma's more. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. So you need more carbohydrates. So what food provide carbohydrate?
Breads.
Well, those, yeah, that's the starchy kind. But what's kind of give you fiber?
What's this part?
Remember?
Okay. And I got it in my notes, right?
Okay, fruits and vegetables. And
Oh.
where's your extended printouts? Over here? Let's look through there. I bet that'll give you some suggestions.
The students find recipes for healthy snacks, then they prepare them. As the students acquire, handle, and use foods to meet their nutrition and wellness needs, they meet the requirements for Nutrition and Wellness Standard 14.3.
Yeah, there. Liquefy, yeah. Okay. Smells hot? Okay, stop it.
It's red. More strawberries in it.
After they prepare their snacks, the students decide where their snacks fit in the food pyramid. The students have become informed consumers by doing research on nutrition, cooking, and eating according to the food pyramid. These learning activities integrate Information Literacy Standard Number 3, which requires students to use information accurately and creatively.
I don't know. Do you think they should go there? Let's see.
This would be a vegetable.
Okay, let's see. How about we put that there? That fit in there? Now, what's the main ingredients in the strawberry stampede?
Strawberries.
Okay, that's one of the ingredients. Ice cream, so frozen yogurt, and apple juice and so forth. So it has more fruit, so we're going to put it on the fruit stand, but it could also go up here because it has frozen yogurt. And now back to the pizza. Now, how you doing on that pizza? Okay, great. The vegetable pizza, the crust is made from what? Crescent rolls, which is a grain. So the crust part should go down here, but the vegetable part is okay here. But we have one other ingredient in it. What is it? Anybody? No bananas in it.
Cheese.
Okay, we have cheese. So then that moves it up to the protein shelf. Okay, so can you see how it would be real? It's kind of hard to really decide where the food goes when you mix it all together.